Hello, my name is Charlie Brown, and this is the fourth episode of Float Tales. Today, I failed. Actually, I fail a lot in life. You probably have your share of failures too. The truth is, we all fail, whether we try to avoid it or not. In the last episode, I talked a little bit about some of my first bumps and bruises one wheeling. It's a process, and you're learning, and you're gonna fall and crash. Well, tonight, I'm here to tell you that after riding over 26,000 miles, I still fail. Right now, I'm coming off of a trip to Miami. It's the fourth year in a row that I've gone down for an event called Stokebird, which is really awesome. The community down in Miami just kind of opens up the doors and invites everybody who rides personal electric vehicles like one wheels to come down and just ride together. And so we ride all around the city for several days, and it was awesome. Like in 1 week, I achieved a new personal record. In 1 week, I rode 236 miles. And all of those miles were amazing. Yeah, I'm looking back over and just kind of reflecting now as I've just gotten home. And there were just so many like memories, moments that I cherish in those 4 days that I was down there. Great time. I'm also here kind of banged up. So like in mile two of all of the Miami miles, I messed up my ankle. And so I had it kind of bandaged up the whole time. Today, I crashed in an intersection here at home, and my knee is bleeding, and my elbow is swollen again. It's been said, point is, I'm banged up. But that's part of one wheeling. It just happens, and it's just part of it. So let me tell you a little bit about my fall today. I was riding. I'd been gotten a lot of really good work done, been productive today, and I was just kind of feeling it. The sun was shining, and I'm riding through the city, and I ride up to this intersection, and I proceed to get out in front of the cars that are lined up at the stoplight. And what I like to do is just kind of pull up in front of the cars and wait for the lights to turn green. And when the light changed, I had to shift my board around a little bit because I had it pointed the wrong direction. And as I did that, I disengaged the front foot pad. When you disengage the front foot pad on a one wheel, the one wheel doesn't think that you're on it, and it's programmed to stop so it doesn't just shoot across, into traffic or wherever, hurt somebody. And so the one wheel thought that I wasn't on it. It stopped, and right at the same time that I was starting to go, the nose dropped down, and there I am laying in the middle of the intersection. So I pick up my board, and I walk over to the sidewalk, and I kind of just waved at the people who were just looking at me and kind of shaking their heads as they proceeded to drive through the intersection. Like, look at this idiot, right? And I'm fine, a little bit banged up, but it was really embarrassing. Like, there was this moment where I was just like, dang, I hate that happened. Got me thinking about this story in the Bible that I want to share with you. And basically, Jesus sends his apprentices, his disciples out on a boat to cross over the lake, and spends a little bit of time just being still by himself, which I totally respect. We all need that. And then Jesus goes out to like catch up with them, and Jesus just walks across the water because, hey, this is God in the flesh, and he can do that, right? And so he's walking across the water, and as he approaches the boat, it's nighttime, and the disciples are, the Bible tells us that they're frightened. They're intimidated, right? I mean, this isn't supposed to, we don't walk on water as human beings. And so it's kind of a frightening moment, an intimidating moment for them. And Jesus extends an invitation to them, specifically to one of them, Peter, who is very interested in walking out to Jesus. Peter's like that guy who's just like, hey, if you can walk on water, can I do it too? And Jesus is like, yeah, come on. So Peter does, and he steps out of the boat, and the Bible tells us he gets a few steps on top of the water. He's got it going, and then he kind of gets in his head about it, realizes, hey, I'm a human. I'm not supposed to be able to walk on water. I'm supposed to sink. And guess what? He does. He sinks into the water, and Jesus reaches out his hand and helps Peter get back up and into the boat. So imagine that you're on the boat. You're watching all of this happen. You know Peter. You know that this guy does things kind of without thinking sometimes. And you know that if anybody was going to try to walk on water, sure, it would be Peter. And Peter just does it. And you watch him step out there and walk on the water. If you're on the boat, you're probably impressed, right? Then if you're Peter and you got a couple steps, you're feeling really good about yourself because you're able to do it. And then you realize, hey, I'm not supposed to be able to do this, and you sink. Peter is most likely dealing with a sense of failure and embarrassment, like he just couldn't pull it off. He feels like he messed up, while everybody on the boat is probably thinking, whoa, because none of them even tried it, right? I've done amazing things on my one wheel over the past few days. I've beat a personal record. I rode through some amazing city streets in Miami. I rode some trails down there. I got so many good memories, met so many great people. All of that I would have had to forfeit if I decided to avoid the injuries, the embarrassment that come with failing because I'm riding a one wheel. So here's the thing that I've learned. It can become problematic if the risk of failing prevents us from actually trying to do great things. We're going to fail either way. Failure is not an option. I'm sure you've heard that before. So we can do our best to avoid that failure, and we're probably also going to miss out on great things and great opportunities. Or we can do kind of like Peter and try. And here's the thing. I feel like when it comes to our faith journey, God is inviting us to do great things with our day. The potential is there. The potential is always there each day when we wake up in the morning and God is saying, hey, I've got great stuff in store. Let's go. Follow me. And you can do great things. And we can either decide to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to shoot for that, even though I might fail, or we can avoid it altogether and still find ourselves failing. So I just want to encourage you, wherever you're at in life, whatever you're doing, to think about that. Think about the opportunities that God is extending, that our creator of everything is extending your way each day. And think about whether or not your fear of failure is preventing you from trying to chase after the greatness. Because, like I said, we're going to fail either way. You might be sitting in a place where you feel like you're failing and you're not trying. Well, it's there. Go after it. Chase great, because it's worth it, even if we fail.